Not actually sure how much this breeze is gonna affect your audio quality, but I guess we're gonna find out. There's a lot going on in the neighborhood here. Weather's better. It's maybe mid 70s. It's close to maybe 10:30 in the morning. So it seems everybody is outside. There's a conversation going on and got neighbors working in the yard and somebody sawing and hammering something. So I might get interrupted, who knows. But it sure is a nice day today. Happy Sunday. Got my regular Sunday pipe and a little bit of plum pudding. Cracked open a tin of the Special Reserve. A little different because it's this tightly packed brownie thing. I kind of crumbled some of it apart, put about half of it in a jar just as it was. Let my little crumbled part sit out for, I don't know, 15 minutes or something, and stuck it in a jar. I have to say I'm working on about maybe 50% of my flavor ability, so I'm going to reserve my opinion until I can taste again and give a better opinion. Made a fatal error to my taste buds on Thursday, but something that I haven't done since I was a rookie. Came home from work. It was probably already getting dark. I think it was kind of late, maybe 7:30. Got a couple Lorenzo pipes, which are very much on the budget end, but hadn't really had too much of a problem with them. Loaded one up with 965 and came out here just to hang out in the yard with the dogs, and wasn't paying too much attention, I guess, to the pipe. I was chatting with some friends. I realized that the draw was crap. That it was not feeling that great to draw the smoke, so made it about a third of the way through the pipe and put it down. Opened it up, and somehow the way the filter goes in this thing, it was really restricting the draw. But by that point it was too late. I had already kind of produced some tongue bite. Keely. that seems to have inhibited my ability to taste this as much as I normally can. My fault. Sometimes it happens. Had an interesting incident this week. The conclusion of which is kind of playing out this morning. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work. I have some mutual friends. One of them owns a piece of property that the other one happens to rent from him. And got a phone call from the rentor saying the landlord raised his rent by 25%. So I thought to myself, that's kind of a lot. And I asked my friend, seems like you just had the rent raised. And he said, yeah, 9 months ago he raised it by 25%. So when you add it together, it comes out to a 55% increase in rent in less than a year. So, thought about that for a little while. I'm not the most business savvy person in the world, but seems to me that if you're doing that, then you're unhappy with your renters, or maybe there was some cost increase or something that I didn't know about. So, me being I would like to use the word activist, but that seems to have such a negative connotation these days, so aggressive isn't the word, but I'm going to tell you what I think if you present me with a problem. Called the landlord friend, who actually I've known for longer. He didn't answer, so just sent him a text message and said, hey, you trying to get rid of my other friends, or what's going on? What's the deal? Responded the next day and said he talked to a property manager who had given him the advice that he should be getting quite a bit more for the property. So he raised the rent. Okay. So I sent him a message back and just said, the amount that you raised it, to you, you're seeing as an investment, but what you're not taking into account is how the other person sees it. And the amount of money to the landlord relatively isn't a whole lot, but to the rentor, I'm sorry, renter, it is. And now in California, there's really no law as to how much you can or can't raise the rent. So he can do that. But the question is it morally correct? Even if they weren't friends, is it morally correct? You're increasing the cost of somebody's living by quite a bit. There's no contract. Now, I'm not one to say that laws or regulation are the way to deal with anything. In fact, I'm completely on the opposite end of that scale. I think that people's moral compass and sort of direction of society or curbing or aiming of the individuals that you surround yourself with should help to guide you. Which is why I said anything at all, really, because so many times in today's society it seems that people just roll over on their back and take what they're given. But I'm definitely not the type of person to do that or to think that that's right. So that's why I say anything at all. Then the risk is, my landlord friend can say, screw you, it's none of your business. And he has every right to do that, but my theory is if you have a good enough friendship with someone that they should be able to take your criticism and either incorporate it within their own idea or philosophy or direction, or not. They can pass, and I knew that full on going into saying something to him to begin with. Haven't really got a response from him. I talked to my renter friend this morning, and he had given me some status update, which I will tell you in a later video. So my question, if anybody's actually even watching, is, is it right for a landlord to raise the rent by what's equivalent to about 55% within a year? If you were in the situation, is it your right, is it my right to say something? Is it correct? And what would you do? And I'll let you know what the outcome is later. Anyway, I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my morning. Hope you guys have a good Sunday, and until I record again, this is California, fading out.